Hi, this is Dr. Carol Francis. This is course number 1 in class number 1 of the course. This course is all about waking up after abuse and trauma. And this particular class, class number 5, is about having to navigate your way around flashbacks and nightmares and racing heart and racing thoughts. And this isn't going to be the whole package in regard to that. This is just the introduction to just giving yourself a lot of patience during this time, because your brain is going to run away with all sorts of different reactions, because it's going to kind of navigate its way around your situation and look at, are we still in danger? It's going to check that out. Are we still in danger? Does danger still occur? How come my heart's racing as if I still feel like we're in danger? Are we still in a bad situation? How will I know if I'm not in a bad situation? I'm so used to responding to a bad situation, or it's been so traumatizing that that's where I still kind of exist and I live. So your body and your mind, they're still kind of, and those are the flashbacks. I realize that I'm not giving you all the scientific aspects of flashbacks that are associated to the way your brain processes information, the way your brain is now triggered, and that it's developed a groove inside of its neuroanatomy and has a groove curved out that it's like this. If you were to take a bicycle and you were to go around and around on some sand, you would create a track. And then if you kept doing it over and over again, that track, that groove in the sand would be deeper and deeper and deeper. And it would become difficult to actually move your bike up out of the groove and create another one. And that's what's happening to your body. Your body has gotten so in that groove, and either it was a sudden and horrible thing, it just catapulted you into that groove, or it was a chronic building and definitely worsening situation, so now you're in that groove. So your brain is so accustomed to being in that groove, and it's going to continue to activate those particular aspects of your memories. It's going to do it by way of nightmares and daymares and startling moments, and your brain just kind of being captured or kidnapped in the moment by memories or feelings. Your body suddenly having a surge of the chemicals associated to startle reactions or to stress, and your body sending you the signal and you kind of interpreting it like, oh no, there's something horrible going on, because how else do you interpret physical or physiological signs like that? So this is a time when your body really doesn't know whether it's still in a horrible situation or if it can relax. This is a time when your mind, your brain doesn't know if it's in a horrible situation or if it can get out of its groove and learn new patterns and new rhythms. And so far, you'll remember in our previous classes that it was about, I need to establish new rhythms. I need to establish a new grooves. I need to put myself into a new frame of reference, frame of mind. And that new one has a rhythm to it. Well, the flashbacks, the nightmares, the racing heartbeat that you have, and the racing thoughts are normal. They're to be expected, and I don't want you to feel like you're going crazy. And I think that's the first thing is, don't feel like you're going crazy. That these are the ways your body is adapting. And now what I would like you to do in these moments is to become kind of outside yourself, like a very kind and very good giving parent who says, oh, you're having a flashback. Okay, let's walk you through this flashback. This isn't reality. This is a memory. Yes, this did happen to you. It was horrible. I get that you're totally in that experience at this moment. Let's just walk our way out of this. Start talking out loud to yourself. See, we're looking at the trees, and we're looking at the dishes that need to be cleaned, and we're looking at the mail that needs to be answered. We're looking at television shows. We're looking at, so you're talking your way into the reality of the circumstance you're in. I'm here with this person. I'm no longer with that. I'm now in this setting. Look at this setting. And you kind of ground your brain, talking to your brain. Remember I said talking out loud is a way of talking to different aspects of your brain. It's very much like you trying to soothe yourself by the sound of your voice, taking the deep breaths in that support your ability to talk out loud. And then also you were exercising the efforts of talking calmly to yourself, like you are a kid that needs to be treated like you're with a parent's kindness to it, a good parent's kindness. Not all parents are good, right? So a good parent's kindness, the kid just needs to be held and comforted and talked out of the situation. Now, in addition, not all of us respond to words. Some of us respond to touch, and so you want to soothe yourself. You can soothe yourselves by massaging your hands. You can soothe yourselves by massaging your legs. You can soothe yourselves by moving your hands up and down your legs, or give your feet a massage, or go take a bath or shower. That gives you the sensations that are opposite of the trauma. So that sometimes it is in your skin to remind your skin or your muscles, your bone structure, we're okay, we are safe, this is just fine. It's also at this time when you have racing heart that you begin to say, am I having a panic attack? This feels crappy. I never want to have a panic attack again. And then you get panicked about having another panic attack. We will talk about that more at another moment, but at another class, another course about how to manage panic attacks associated to abuse and trauma. But the panic attacks are there to wake you up, to remind you to do the things that we've talked about. Breathe rhythmically. Breathe deeply, but not necessarily at first. I'll explain that in a moment. Secondly, tighten your muscles lightly and then loosen them. Tighten, loosen. As you tighten, inhale. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment. And then also you want to do rhythmic moving. And that's why the massaging of your legs, or the massaging of your hands, or feeling your hands, just doing it in rhythm. Washing the dishes in rhythm. Taking a shower in rhythm. Doing your walk in rhythm. It's like we're just creating this sense of common, rhythmic, the body can function, we can do this sorts of things. I am going to say that it's very important, if you possibly can, to get sweaty exercise in 20 minutes today and every day. So that's the minimum. 40 minutes would be better, at least 3 times a week, to start engaging the different chemicals in your body that are really good at managing stress, really good at helping your body not have such stress reactions. Also, they tend to be stress reducers. They help the body not hold on to the memories, and so that's very important. Getting massages that don't feel intrusive, that feel very respectful, getting healing touch, such as in Reiki or healing touch proper, because there's different names for these different sorts of things, can send energy into your body that reminds it that it's not in a state of trauma. It allows it to heal, and it can be a rhythm. It can be an experience that feels very good. How about the racing thoughts? Well, racing thoughts, once again, is, depending on who you are, can be related to lots of things. One is an attempt to gain control. So your thoughts race and race, 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 because you're thinking that as long as you're thinking, you're going to be safe, because you're allowing those thoughts just go, go, go. You're awake, you're alive, you're tending to it. It's like you go into that kind of fight activity movement, that racing thoughts, and that racing thought must be going over and over again, all the things that went through on you, and that may be part of it. So one of the aspects is, like I'm talking about, moving away from the experience, so you don't have to be right in the middle of all this intensity and this antagonism. But there are some people that when they're having those racing thoughts, if they write them down, and they write and they write and they write and they write and write, but then at the end of the writing process, and it could go on for hours, writing by hand, but writing in your, it could go on for hours, actually is like a vomiting of experiences. It gets the ideas out. It makes it expressive. There's something in the thalamus that's relieved when an individual tells their story, and tells it emphatically, and tells it perhaps repeatedly. And that ability to be able to just go and go and go, and as you're talking, and hearing yourself talk, and having someone listening to it, and really being there, and then at the end of it kind of going, oh, I got the story out. And it can feel like you're vomiting things out. You're just extracting it from your soul and your being. You're letting it go, and it demands attention. It demands expression. And sometimes racing thoughts will continue to race until you allow that kind of cathartic expression that is heard and understood and received, and potentially recorded in writing or in record keeping. And that's a lot of the times why you see individuals who are recovering from abuse or trauma, they write it. They tell their stories, and they tell it repeatedly, because they're in the process of trying to get their brain around the narrative of what's going on. In my book, Path to Recovery After Abuse and Trauma, I talk about that sometimes it appears to be the most helpful therapy is to express and explain and talk and tell what's gone on for you to people that are good to tell it to. Not everyone's good to tell it to. And there's also those times to not tell it. These are interesting times because some scientists say that the more we tell our story, the more we create that groove inside of our brain, so that we're even making it deeper and deeper and deeper the more we tell it. And that's true for some people sometimes, some of the time. That's not true for everybody. And that's not true for everybody every moment. So there are times when I would say maybe to tell a different story is better than to tell that story. And at a certain time, you will discover in your paths of recovery that it's time to start telling a different story about something innocent, fun, and playful, a different story about a television show or a book that you read, a different story about memories in your childhood prior to any of the trauma and abuse, a different story about other things going on, a different story. Oh, I saw something today. Oh, I experienced a rabbit being played with by a hawk. It's like, it's metaphoric for the victim and predator sort of dynamic, but it is a different story. And so sometimes telling a different story helps those racing thoughts derail so they're not keep tracking, and you shift out of them. But once again, there's that disclaimer. Everybody is unique, and everybody enters into the flow of recovering, waking up, which is what this course is about. You can wake up in all sorts of different ways, and you can wake up to needing to tell the story, wake up to need to not listen to the story. You can wake up wanting to vomit the story out. You can wake up to racing thoughts and intrusive nightmares that just want to get it out. And you can also find it's just going on. I'm just owned by it. I have to get out of it. I'm completely in this trap. I'm just going around and round and round and never able to get out of it. I have to get out of it. And in which case, to have someone help you get out of it so that you can distract yourself, tell a different story, be involved in other activities, take this energy that's inside of you and move it into something productive. So now I want to talk a little bit about energy. The energy that you experienced when you were traumatized is very intense. It's very high level energy. Now, it's interesting because there are other times in our lives we have high level energy. If you are a sportsman or athlete of some sort, you had a high energy functioning. There are the times when there was an emergency situation that you took care of for someone else and you had high energy. Or maybe you were just really, really happy, or you fell in love and you had high energy during that time. Or maybe you have healing capacities and you know how to move your energy, so you have high energy. But it is really important for you to come to terms with what it means to have high energy that begins to impact your thoughts or begins to impact your body and creates these intense moments of like racing heart, racing thoughts, nightmares, and flashback sorts of things too. And so you want to, at these times, also consider the possibility of, I'm just having lots of high energy right now. And I'm so used, when I feel this high energy, for it to be about the fright and the flight and the freezing responses I had to my trauma and abuse, that I associate high energy to those awful moments. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to take this high energy. This is high energy. I'm really intense right now. I'm going to go do something productive. I'm going to go plow up all those weeds in my garden. I'm going to go clean out all those shelves in my cupboard. I'm going to go help individuals in the shelter that need to have food and clothing. I'm going to empty my closet so that I can just give away the things I never wear for people who actually do need it. I'm going to go be proactive and helpful, and I'm going to channel this energy inside of me and do things that are constructive. And that also may be something that helps you with the racing going on inside of you, because now you feel in control, doing something constructive, and yet you're taking that profoundly intense energy in you and channeling it. And that ability to channel that energy, later on in life, as you channel energy, that intense energy, you will be a powerhouse of wonderful outcome, because you will have learned how to take that energy away from panic attacks and shift it into something beautiful and productive. Well, now it's time for you to do your work. I want you to do your thinking, answering the questions that are there. I want you to reflect out loud and then write it down afterward. And then you're going to do all the meditations that have occurred so far this week, plus 2 more. And these are going to be related to different types of breathing that help you with panic attacks. And also they're going to help you with meditations that will help create the capacity to distract you and to redirect you. Then also you're going to see some bonus sorts of videos that you can listen to as well, in case you just want to extend the type of learning experience you have available for you today. Okay, I will see you tomorrow or the next time, and we will be talking about pacing your progress, seeing your progress, and being patient with those regression moments. Ooh, no one really wants to hear about that, but we've got to take care of that too. It's Dr. Carol Francis. I'm doing this for you, and I hope you know that. I'm thinking of you. I don't know you personally, but all the different types of people I describe, I'm thinking about the many, many, many of you, and really do care. So, having said that, I'll see you next time. Bye.